An intense cold front with strong winds and heavy rains is on its way to South Africa. Explosions in Iran and Israel today after the US's strikes on nuclear facilities on Sunday. Gone very soon. The Gupta's family home goes under the hammer. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Underworld kingpin Naude is being buried today. That's after he was shot and killed in Paro earlier this month. His murder comes more than 7 months after his friend Mark Liffman was killed.
Nightclub security boss Naude is the fifth accused in the Brian Weinstein trial to be murdered. Weinstein was operating a lucrative illegal steroid business before being shot dead in 2017. Alleged underworld figures Jerome Donkey Boyson and Igor Rasool attended Naude's funeral in Bergsig Anglican Church in Durbanville today. Boyson and Rasool, who carried Naude's coffin out of the church, are among 11 co-accused also on trial for Weinstein's murder. Police spokesperson Frederik van Wyk says Naude's murder is still under investigation and no arrests have been made yet.
No arrest has been made as yet, and we urge anyone that have visuals that can come and give us information pertaining to this incident to contact the investigating officer of anti-gang unit. That will be Detective Sergeant Carl Jooster on 071 300 5029.
Van Wyk says all leads are being followed up to arrest Naude's killers. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
An intense cold front bringing along a risk of localized flooding is expected to hit most parts of the country from Wednesday. There's real concern about the strong damaging winds expected in the Eastern Cape. The torrential rain that affected some parts of the province about 2 weeks ago has claimed the lives of at least 95 people, with more than 4,000 displaced.
As the system progresses eastward, it will affect the Eastern Cape, which is already vulnerable to weather-related impacts. The key concern here is strong, damaging winds that are expected across most parts of the province on Thursday, 26 June 2025.
The Eastern Cape Police have discovered one more body during a search for flood victims in the province. This brings the death toll to at least 95 people whose lives were claimed due to the torrential rains. A search mission continues for more flood victims in the province since it was hit by floods more than 2 weeks ago.
Two bodies were found, males, yesterday afternoon in Dakulin by Mtata. Bodies were recovered by search and rescue teams. Those were the two bodies that were found yesterday.
A Cape Town teacher accused of sexually grooming a grade 7 learner from a Mitchells Plain school intends pleading not guilty when her case goes to trial. The 35-year-old woman is accused of sending inappropriate texts and explicit video messages to the primary school pupil last month. She appeared before the Mitchells Plain Magistrate Court today to apply for bail. The matter has been postponed to July the 1st for oral arguments.
We have a right to say that we are concerned about our kids. We have children on our streets who can easily be manipulated. They're very vulnerable.
Parliament says it expects Higher Education Minister Naude Nkabane to disclose all the names of the independent panel that advised her on the appointment of boards of sector education and training authorities, setters, while she sent a list to the Higher Education Committee last week after initially refusing to comply. The committee suspects some names may have been concealed. The appointment of the setter boards have since been reversed and the process reopened following public outcry that they were being staffed with the politically connected.
Parliament's Higher Education Committee says it's not the end of the SETA debacle and it will demand the Higher Education Minister Naude Nkabane appear before it again. In the meantime, Chairperson Tebogo Letsie says Nkabane must explain why the SETA advisory panel comprised staff from her office and officials from the department. He says it also appears names were redacted on the list sent to Parliament.
The Minister is legislatively obligated to furnish Parliament with the outstanding names of the panelists who were concealed on the submitted list.
Letsie says the committee also wants to know how these advisors were approached, how much they were paid, and the number of meetings they attended.
One of the people on the list has already denied that he was ever part of the panel, which raises more questions.
Letsie says the panel and the minister have been set a Wednesday deadline to respond in writing to the committee's request for further information. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The cattle that are currently being vaccinated at the Qatar beef lot in Heidelberg will remain in quarantine for up to 6 weeks before they can be consumed. Qatar beef lot supplies 30% of South Africa's beef, and more than 40,000 vaccines have been ordered for its cattle. Today, the last batch has been administered at the facility with Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen and Gauteng MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development, Vuyiswa Ramakgopa, conducting an oversight visit. The first outbreak started in Gauteng at a communal farm and has since spread across provinces.
The reason why we vaccinate is we want to bring the viral load down so that the disease does not spread any further. So the 160,000 was informed by the challenge that we are currently facing. So because it's not a disease that we would normally vaccinate against, because South Africa has got infected zones, and then we also have what we call free zones. So in the free zones, once you experience that problem, we vaccinate. But in the infected zones, like around the Kruger National Park, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, they practice vaccination as a mitigation measure to keep the virus within, those particular infected zones.
Qatar closes its airspace after suspected Iranian attacks on the US military base there. Also, attacks reported in Iraq. Loud explosions have rocked Tehran as Israel says it struck, quote, regime targets in the city, escalating tensions a day after US airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Iran in turn has fired missile barrages at Israel and vowed retaliation against the United States as both sides intensified attacks on the war's 11th day. An Iranian news agency said Israel struck Fordo, a key nuclear enrichment facility buried deep in the mountains south of Tehran. The previous day, the United States hit the site with bunker buster bombs in support of its ally, Israel. Government has signed a $1.5 billion loan with the World Bank to spur on infrastructure development. The National Treasury says the loan agreement is aimed at supporting critical structural reforms that will enhance the efficiency, resilience, and sustainability of the country's infrastructure services. This includes improving energy security, the freight transport services, and the transition to a low-carbon economy. The loan will mature in 16 years with a 3-year grace period, will be charged at the standard overnight financing rate plus 1.49%. Ledumahadi Mafube, a 12-ton, 12-meter-long South African dinosaur, first discovered in 1989 by James Kitching in the Free State, is considered the heaviest dinosaur to have roamed the prehistoric Golden Gate Highlands National Park. It's also one of the first dinosaurs to be given a proper African name, the giant thunderclap, inspired by the sound it may have made as it thundered through the Free State roughly 200 million years ago. This massive sauropodomorph is one of South Africa's more well-known dinosaurs, now brought to life in the full-scale artistic models at the newly launched Kudumo Dumo Dinosaur Interpretation Center, located in Sandpark's Golden Gate Highlands National Park in the Free State. The state-of-the-art center is a collaboration between the Department of Tourism and Sandparks. The facility features several life-size sculptures and provides an exceptional educational experience in paleontology, archaeology, and geology geared towards inspiring curiosity in both young and old visitors about our country's ancient past. So how much would you pay to buy the infamous Gupta's family compound in Saxonwold, Johannesburg? One of the 3 houses has 17 en-suite bedrooms, a cinema, a hair salon, and a bar on every floor. It's going on auction on the 24th of July, and here's a sneak peek.
I think it's a little too early. The sale will only take place on the 24th of July, so by then we will know and have a fair idea. But to be quite honest with you, we're not sure what to expect at the moment. A lot of people have this morbid fascination to come and see how and what actually happened here, and I'm not sure if any of those people would be interested in actually buying and occupying these buildings.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.